I believe we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Artist Heart Friday live show. It's great to be here with you this afternoon as always. Good stuff, we're on, we're good, we're live. We had some technical issues to deal with right at the beginning of the show, unfortunately. But I think we've pretty much got all of those out of the way and done and dusted now. So it's great to be with you. Yeah, it's fantastic. Behind me, as you can see, is one of our lady's finished commissioned paintings, and it's so recent in fact that the paint's still wet. But guys, this was one that was ordered for a lady in the United States. Incredible woman. She lived in Alaska for a while and then in Washington State, sorry. And around a whole spectrum and plethora of different places across the globe. Really cool lady, and she asked me to paint this especially for her. So I had the honour and privilege of coming up with that, and I wanted to show you guys as well what it was that I was working on and what I was doing. So how's this week been for you guys? Have you had a good week? I hope you have. This week has been filled with all sorts of things, from painting drama to medical drama, and a whole host of other things as well, some of which I'll be sharing with you during the course of the next 15 minutes for our Friday live show. But what I want to get to straight off the bat is the results from our poll, I guess you would say. My goodness, you guys came up with some amazing answers, whether it be the beach, whether it be forest, whether it be mountains. Granted, some came up with answers that weren't even on the list, and it's amazing how people do that. You had 4 options: a mountainskip, waterfalls, beach, or a lake. And some people were there saying, can you do a forest with unicorns and an owl and rabbits and a bunny with, weird stuff here, there and everywhere. Some of you were saying, can you do a self-portrait? And I'm sitting there thinking, this is not part of the questionnaire, guys. Stick with the script. Anyway, so we have decided that we are going to look at a beach scene. And today I will certainly start it with you. And you can kind of see what we've been doing. This is my practice canvas. This is a canvas I was working on, or a canvas that I used to teach my students when we're doing the art classes as well. Hey guys, in this tutorial I want to show you some really simple things on how to put together a beach scene. So we're going to come in with a 1.5 inch brush. And I think, just keep it nice and simple today. I think we're going to have somewhat of a blue sky. Bear with me, just pop out some blue paint. It always makes me laugh when the paint makes that noise. Okay. So we're going to come into a little bit of white, a little bit of custom blue. This is somewhat of a lake blue. The reason I say it's custom is because we've made it specially. Phthalo blue will work fantastically for you as well. And we're just going to start making little crisscrosses here and there. Just little crisscrosses on the canvas, come into a little bit of more blue. And just begin working some things in here and there. I said these practice canvases are really good, because it means that I can show you a whole host of different techniques. There's no wastage. As always, as you've heard me say probably 1,001 times if you've been watching the DVDs or you're doing the online classes and courses, we do paint around the sides of the canvas. It gives it more of a fuller and finished effect. And I always prefer doing that way. I think it's my kind of style. Okay, and we're just going to go across that. There we go. That's quite a nice blue. It's a bit of an odd blue. Okay, we're going to come in with a little bit of water, into a touch of phthalo blue, into some of that colour we made already, and a tiny touch of lavender, and a tiny touch of violet. I'm just going to play with some colours today. And then we're going to start making water because this is already dark. We don't need to worry too much. as to what we need to do. The beach is always built up of 3 things. Do you know what they are? I'll give you a second or 2 to think. If you want to stick anything in the comments section below, please do feel free. A beach painting is made up of 3 things. And they're obvious. You can see them. The sky, the sea, the beach. There's your 3 main elements on there. Sea painting. And then I'm just going to come in and blend this a little bit into the sky. Okay, now this week I'm not too concerned with too much of the beach. I want to show you a few different things because it says on the list we're looking at the sky, which number 1 we have done, simple blue sky. As you become more advanced and more creative, you can begin playing with all sorts of different colours and all sorts of different things. But for now, I would just say keep it simple. If you are looking to learn how to paint and you're looking to develop skill, I really don't know where to start, or you've been starting for a while and you're ready to go on to the next level, then our DVDs definitely have things in there which we will cover for you. Okay, let's have a look. So, lay out the painting. As I say, you've 3 elements to it: the sky, the sea, the beach. That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is how to paint the sky, which we've just looked at. We start with blue, we start from the bottom of in the middle where your brightest area is going to be, and you work on up with little crisscrosses. And step number 3, how to put in some clouds. We're going to tap. Okay, I'll show you my palette. A little bit of white down here, we're going to tap into some of that, and then I'm going to tap it out. And all we've got is just really the corner of the brush. That's really what we're looking for here, is the corner of the brush to have the majority of the paint. And then we're going to come up and then just start making some little circles. Now you can tap this, but I always find the circles, particularly if the paint's wet, works really well. As you can see there, it's blending into the canvas really nicely. The top edge you want to be quite firm, the bottom edge you want to be really soft. So it actually looks like clouds. See how that's done? See how beautiful that looks now? Come back into a little bit more paint and just do the same thing. Just these little circles, just blend them in. Do not lose all that blue area. Okay, so you can see there I've left some of the blue, and think about how your clouds move. It will take a little bit of practice. Just think a little bit on how the clouds move. And you can play about, you can make them dance, you can do all sorts of things with them. Okay. And we just pull these things in and around. And you want it to be really soft. Okay, and that's it. That's the main base, guys. Now next week I'll be showing you how to add sand in, maybe how to add in a few little waves, how to add stuff in the distance, and all kinds of different things. But for now, that's what we're going to finish up with today. Now I have, as always, the Q&A session. Okay, the first question today is, how do you get a good life out of your brushes? These brushes I picked up at a hardware store called Wilkinson's in the UK. If you're in the UK, you know all about Wilkinson's. Pick them up in Wilkinson's, and they come in a set of 4 or 5, so you get 2 of these brushes. You get this brush, and this little brush. Okay, I've had these now for probably a couple of years, say. Some brushes, if you take care of them really well, can last 10 years. Okay, an estimate, give or take. The way that you take care of them is to make sure that they are clean, so there's no paint residue at all left in the brush. That's really important, because if there's paint there, it'll dry solid. I don't think I've got my brush to show you right now. I have a fan brush which I use for demonstrating because I made that mistake, particularly when I was working with oils. And the way that a fan brush works, of course, it looks like a fan, but mine doesn't. It's now split into 3 different sections, and it's really, really firm. Not really good for much else other than some shading stuff for some, when you need a brush or something like that. Sometimes that can be helpful. So make sure that your brushes are clean, there's no paint left in them. Make sure they are washed thoroughly in either turpentine or, if you use an acrylic paint, water. Okay, so definitely make sure they're good, clean, and also make sure they're dry. Okay, because what happens, what I see a lot of students do is they saturate the brush so much that this metal area becomes full of water, and then basically that just sits there. It causes things to rust, it causes things to rot from the inside, and it just really wrecks your brush. It wrecks the handle, it wrecks your brush, it wrecks everything, okay? So make sure that your brushes are good and dry. 2 ways of doing this. You can grab an old rag, which is what I sometimes use, particularly if I'm teaching, or you can find a good hard surface. I've got a box down here, and you just bash the water out of the bristles, okay? So that's the first question. So as I say, keep your brush good and clean, keep it dry, and make sure there's no water that's left hanging around. How do I... let's have a look at this one. Okay, basically what this gentleman is asking is, how do you keep paint wet? And I'm assuming he's meaning acrylic paint. Keeping acrylic paint wet is a really difficult thing. What I suggest, it depends very much on your palette. Sometimes if you've got a metal palette or a steel palette, they won't last, or the paint won't last as long, because when the bottom gets cold, the temperature changes, it solidifies from underneath. I use a plastic DIY palette. This is my palette, okay, and I've used many over the years. Always go with plastic, because plastic is really good at changing with the temperatures. It's really good at keeping other things wet. And as you can see here, I've got quite a lot of paint that's left on the, but as you can see there, I've also got quite a lot of paint. And this top layer is just cling film. Okay, you can buy it from food stores, you can buy it, pretty much anywhere that sells food. And basically you tape it to one end of your palette, fold it on over, and that will keep your paint wet. I've got paint that's been wet probably about a fortnight to 2 weeks here. And I just come back and I can use it over again and again and again. Okay, are there any further questions? If there aren't, I will bid you adieu. Thank you very much for watching. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if there's anything I can do to help, then I'm here to help. So I had a brief flip in memory there for a second. If there is anything I can do to help, guys, I am here to help, of course. As always, if you are interested in learning how to paint, if you are in the South Asia area, we've got the art classes on for the kids right now from P4 all the way up to P5 all the way up to S4. And they happen Monday evenings at Meadow Green in Troon, 4:15 to 5:30. We are looking at opening up for other classes as well, and for an adult class which will begin again in September. So if you are interested in learning how to paint and having yours truly as your personal instructor, then I am here to help. Aside from that, guys, as I said, DVDs are available if you want to learn from the comfort of your own home. Head to www.johnmorrisartfromtheheart.com/shop. And you'll be able to find all the DVDs there. And if you need any more information, if there's anything I can do to help, fire me an email, fire me a message. You can get me at johnafthmorris@hotmail.com. And as always, I'm here to help. Take care, guys. God bless, and I'll catch you soon.